All right, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at another locksmithing business for sale. Dad, how you doing?
Okay. How about yourself?
Good, good. So our before we dive in here, I just gave you the piece of paper. I haven't told you anything about it yet.
Right.
All right, well, hey, let's go ahead and get right into it. So this business listing is actually on Craigslist, and a viewer / listener actually sent it in for us to review. So thank you for doing that. Now, I do not know if it's the person's business that's actually for sale.
Right.
Or if it's just one that they found in their area, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, we will do our best to treat it with respect. At the same time, get into the details.
Right.
Are you ready?
And remember, it's just our opinion. Everybody has a different take on it.
Yeah.
But with me buying and selling lots of stuff and your knowledge,
Yeah. Well, hey, this way I look at it, if there's anything bad you don't like in this, just go ahead and blame Pete here, the Lockfather. But, all right, so this business for sale is in the USA, actually in Ohio, and it's for sale for $120,000. And I'm going to read what it says here. Fully mobile locksmith shop on wheels for sale, along with customer list, web pages, and phone number. After 25 years in the area, I am retiring. New owner should be an experienced locksmith who can do commercial, hardware, and safe work. Sale includes a 2003 Chevy Express box fan, along with all the tools needed to start right away. Some tools pictured are not included, such as the tool bag, dolly, and DeWalt tools. Prices firm, no leases, etc. Cash buy only.
Okay. Where do you want to start?
All right. Now, before we do here, I'm going to kind of scroll through the pictures here, and you can kind of probably see them on my screen.
How many miles?
Okay, good question. So they don't list the miles, but they show a picture. And at the time, it was about, let's call it 170,000.
Okay.
Okay. They have some sort of, I don't know. Okay, that's a camera. That's a backup camera. Now that at first it kind of looks like a programmer, doesn't it? But if you can see the trail. So it's a backup camera. Tools. They have a frame in 2. They have a Bravo 3. What's that one there? I can't. Maybe there's another picture that shows it more clearly. Looks like they have just some assorted lock parts. Looks like they got a pinning kit. Some more tools with the dolly, and the DeWalt tools aren't included.
See, and that they shouldn't have took a picture then. That should have been out.
Yeah. Next is they have some keys on the wall. Nothing really to speak of.
Bench grinder,
and then that's about it.
Step ladder.
From what we can see. So I'm sure buried in some of these boxes, because they say they do safe work, there's probably a drill jig somewhere or something, right? Like we would imagine, and we can't see what's in these, and we know.
But how are they going to use the drill jig if the DeWalt drill isn't included? For 120 grand, he could buy all new DeWalts he wanted.
Okay, so I think it would be BYOT. Bring your own tools. Okay, so let's just start off the first impressions here.
120 doesn't sound bad. Didn't say what he grossed.
Yeah.
Sales, what he should have, for 120, is that his pay or is that just total sales? Mm-hmm. What he took. It's a lot of miles on the van, but I bought ones with more.
Okay.
So you got to think of maybe putting an engine in eventually and a transmission.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would deduct so much for that in my mind,
Okay. Okay, now we have your first impressions here. Let's kind of go over a couple things here. So, like the positives.
Yeah.
One I see here is that they've been in business for 25 years.
That's excellent.
Right? And it says it does come with a customer list. I'm always curious what that actually means.
Well,
right?
all the people that then work for, but if they don't like the new person's personality or the way they're doing business,
Yep.
you're going to lose them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of business, small business in particular, is relationship based.
Absolutely.
Right? It's due to the relationship. So when those relationships change, I always say, in business and another business I have, I talk a lot about the risk associated with the purchaser.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like they're used to putting orders in with one of my team members. They build a relationship. But when that new person comes in,
you have none.
You're kind of starting over a little bit, and there's some risk associated with that.
Same thing in the lock business,
Yeah, or just like with some of the clients you have. I'm sure that if there's probably a percentage of customers that if they were like, oh, Pete doesn't own it anymore, like I'm going to see what else is out there. Right? That's just the nature of the beast.
Right.
But the fact they've been in business for 25 years
is great.
I mean, the phone number alone and they say
Did it say website?
Web pages. So I think that's safe to assume a website.
Right.
So that's good, right? And so props if you're watching or listening, great job after, being in business 25 years.
Absolutely.
That's really good. As we move on here and it says so to me, the hardest line, now we've done a few of these now, right?
Yes.
And this next line is so hard for me, okay? And it says, new owner should be an experienced locksmith who can do commercial hardware and safe work.
So that's telling you he doesn't want to sit there and teach them any.
Yep.
Because he wants out.
Yeah.
Completely. And doesn't mean he won't go around with you a little here and there. But you got to make sure. But the way it sounds is that he's done. He wants no more.
He's done. The very end also. Prices firm, no leases, etc. Cash buy only. Now, let's just get real frank here.
Well, I don't have 120 sitting in my account to go buy it. Cash, you'd probably have to go get a loan for part of it.
Yeah, so, I mean, $120,000 cash for someone to look to buy this business is I always try to look at it relative, right? If you've been buying and selling $500,000 motorhomes.
Right.
And your business, hey, I want to expand, I need 120 grand. It's going to be fairly easy.
Yes.
Right? But when the whole business value is what you're wanting to come up in this case, that's a lot of money, cash. The amount of people that have that amount of money who want to buy a locksmithing business, who already have the experience, is, I would venture to say close to zero.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's tough, because even if you go to the bank, they say, well, you've been working as a locksmith, but you have no experience
running a business. Right? And so it's just hard to say that. Price is firm, no leases, which, I totally get that. But
yeah, because who wants to...
And cash only. So yeah, technically you can go to the bank and get it. The problem with that, and and we have a friend in the business, semi-local, who ran into a problem like this, who was selling their locksmithing business. And it went to the point where they needed to provide certain documents to the bank to get the loan. And our friend was like, I don't feel comfortable, and unless you are giving us certainty that you can close this deal, there's some parts of our financials I don't want to release to him. Take it for what it is, right? Maybe he should have. I don't know. I don't know why, but it killed the deal. After 3 years of working for him, this guy, to get the loan to do it, it killed the deal. He got real offended by it and walked. And so, my point.
I agree with him to a degree, because I don't want to reveal everything to the bank. My debt I do, but I don't want to.
Well, he didn't want to reveal to the young man buying the business.
Oh.
Okay. You know what I mean?
Well, you just have him sign a paper saying
an NDA, right? There's easy ways around it, but the bank part got into the way and killed the deal for him.
Right.
Let's talk about the van for a minute, right? I think one of the biggest things that you have to look at, if you're going to go buy this business, a 25-year-old business, for 120 grand, let's pretend it has everything you need to do your job, to do commercial hardware, and safe work.
Mm-hmm.
You spend the $120,000. How long until you're going to have to invest more money into the business? And I'm talking van here.
Right. That's what I mean.
Right?
You know, it has 170,000 miles on it. You know, it's going to need another engine. The body looks in great shape.
Yeah.
You know, so it's worth putting another motor and transmission. So that's, you know, $6,000 right there, $10,000.
Yeah.
You know, so I would deduct that probably off the price automatically.
Yeah, but see, for me, for a 2003,
That's old.
yeah, I mean, I'd want to get, I mean, I'm not saying I'd want to go get something brand new,
Right.
but I would want to, like, get something, I don't know, 2000.
Well, the picture's not a typical express van. It looks like this one you can stand in.
Yes, you can stand in the back, yeah.
Right.
So it's like, what would you call that?
Box
like
van.
a box van with a
Chassis of an express.
on the front, yeah.
Right.
I don't know, like I mean, if you were gonna, if this was down the road from us, and you saw this listing for sale, and the guy contacted you, like, what questions are you asking?
A guy who has a lot of vans, I know what it costs to replace or buy tires, whatever.
Yeah.
But he doesn't, you know, probably if you messaged him, he would ask how much, you know, was your sales last year. Doesn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
Just says for sale. He wants 120 grand. You know, there's still some questions you got to ask. What about if he only did 150 grand
Yeah.
in sales?
Yeah.
It's not worth 120,
Yeah.
you know? So a lot of it is based on, you know, what he took, how much the bank has in it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of questions we can't even, we're just guessing because of that. But being a mobile, you know, there's advantages of being a mobile service. You don't have rent. Your rent is your van, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you know, like, I'm kind of like on both sides of the fence on that, right? Like, the first side for me is like, hey, you've been doing this for 25 years. You're at the age where you want to retire. And it sucks that you're asking 120 grand for the business you've built up over 25 years. It sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
At the same time, I would say, who wants to buy a job for 120 grand?
Well, when you work for yourself, a lot of time that's what you're doing,
But
is buying your job. And then you can build it off of that if you're a hustler. You know,
Yeah.
if you want to bust your butt.
yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like this weird thing, you know?
Right. Because as long as I've been in business, I have no wants to really stop.
Yeah.
But I want to take some time off here and there. But for as long as I've owned it, I always say, what's mine worth? You know,
Yeah.
I sure hope.
Let's do it. Let's put, you know, put all the details together.
You know,
So I mean, I think without a doubt, the only reason in my book you would want to spend anywhere close to six figures for this business is for that customer list, web pages, and phone number for 25 years worth of work, because that's actually what's being sold. I mean, we could go find this same type of van on, there's no, you know, no signs or anything on it, right? Like we could find this off Craigslist, put 20 grand worth of equipment in it, and be sitting at probably what? I mean, that van, how much would you guess? You'd know better than me. How much would that van be? If you saw that van out on Craigslist, it was just empty in the back with 170,000 miles, 2003. What type of money?
18
grand?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't pay that much for it.
Yeah. Okay, but let's just
10 grand.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking more like 10 grand.
Yeah.
With that
well, that's more realistic.
Okay. Let's say 10 grand, 20 grand with the brand new equipment. You're sitting at 30 grand. Right?
Right.
So what makes this business more valuable than that?
Well, it depends.
And it's the phone number.
Well, phone
And
number.
customer list.
Right. But it says safe work. Now, is that just changing combination, or are there drill jigs and, you know, different stuff, safety deposit box stuff? I mean,
Yeah.
it shows a lot, but it doesn't show. And then he excludes, like I said, some of the equipment, what's in the pictures.
Yeah.
So that should have been taken out before the pictures were taken.
True.
But some people can't they think that's part of it, even if it says it's not.
Yeah, even though it might be a couple grand or even $1,000 worth of stuff,
Right.
It gets confusing.
It does.
But at the same time, I mean, this person is working. Right?
Yeah.
They're getting up and they're working, and like even probably doing this was annoying to get it listed.
Right.
And it's kind of one of those weird things. It's a sensitive subject when you go to try to sell your business.
Well, because look all the years he's done it. Look all the time he's put into it.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a cash cow for him right now.
Yeah.
But when you sell it, you got to spend a couple thousand for signs. I believe advertisement's one of your best markets,
Having stuff on the van. Yeah. Although, I mean, there's been more of a trend of guys not wanting to put them on there because they don't want to get broken into.
No, I agree. But that's still not my way of thinking.
Yeah, it's like when you weigh it out, right? Some people are going to be like...
Well, because some people say, man, I see your vans all over.
Yeah.
It could just be one,
Yeah.
So it's one of those type things. Is it worth 120 grand from what this says? No.
No.
Far from it.
Yeah. And a lot of that's because we don't know any sort of sales or profit. We don't know any of that.
For all we know, he makes 20 grand a year.
Yeah.
And he can live off of that.
Sure.
But that's why it's important to see the rest of it. But who wants to put all that out there on Facebook or whatever?
I mean, he's obviously doing it for sale by owner.
Right.
Type of a setup, right?
Right. So he's not using a realtor.
Yeah. Which it's like, hey, might as well save that money if you can.
Right.
But
I mean, I've used realtors to sell businesses. I've bought them all on my own.
Mm-hmm. So, it actually kind of makes me think with all the ones that we've done so far is we should put together like a one-page kind of like checklist for people. If you're going to list a locksmithing business, like at least use it as some sort of a guideline.
Right.
Because you want to get the right info out there to get people interested. You want to attract them like a magnet.
Right.
Right?
I agree.
And trying to get that done.
If you have multiple vans, what year, how many miles.
Yep.
What lifts all the major equipment.
Yep.
Roughly, if you only do commercial, roughly how many dollars you have in inventory for that.
Yeah. And so, I think that's, maybe we should do a video putting together just a one-page list for people of just from our perspective.
Yeah, because the last deal, I bought another guy out by Canada and I got unbelievable deal.
Yeah.
And,
But the guy passed away.
And they had to get out of the house.
And you bought it from his wife or girlfriend?
His niece.
His niece. And so they don't even care.
No. And
I mean, it's pretty much a bunch of paperweights to them.
Exactly.
So, and that's the sad part, is...
You work your whole life.
You work your whole life and you want to sell your business, and unless you don't set it up properly, you're not going to get much.
Right.
And then at the same time, if you pass away, it's going to be sold for scraps.
Right, because like on this deal, I gave her X amount of dollars. It's probably worth 20 times that. But I had to be there the next day to load it up with a couple guys, unload a truck and a trailer full of stuff, and it's going to take me months.
I know, and for the record, I was trying to get you to not do it.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, how can I try harder next time to get you to
all
quit
the employees
doing
are upset too, because they got to go through all of it.
Yeah, I mean...
It's just in my breed.
That's funny, but... Okay, well, I guess that kind of wraps it up. So for you at this point, is this something that you would be interested in, or is
Not
it
at that price?
Not at that price, yeah. Yeah. Like I say, if you're watching or listening to this and this is your business, like definitely talk more about your customer list, your phone number, like the stuff that actually makes that business valuable.
Right. And he only does commercial, not residential, where you can do residential easy enough.
Yeah.
Because, commercial's tougher. And safe works, but you can always add auto to it too. Learn auto and get it in there.
Yeah.
So anything's possible, but at this price for what they've listed, I would say it's not a good deal.
Yeah.
That would break it.
Yeah. All right, well, hey, there you have it. Another one in the books. But the big question is what do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Dad, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
And we'll see y'all next time.
See ya.
Well, I guess this is the end of the video, and it's time for you and I to part ways until next time. But hey, before you go, I really do want to make sure that you know that when you comment on our videos and you include the hashtag Lockboss, you automatically get hooked up to win cool stuff that we give away live here on YouTube every Tuesday. So we'd love to have you join us. We'd love to have you comment, and I look forward to reading them soon.